I think it's pretty clear we've uncovered, if you will, the best local rule in the game of golf.
If you hit your tee shot in the water, it's a free drop.
So yeah, and by the way, we're going to get into it right away. Not going to delay this too much, but if you guys as a golfer have a good local rule at your course, comment below, want to hear it, want to check those out as well. And for people that might not know, before we play the video about the local rule, a local rule is a modification of a rule or an additional rule that the committee adopts for general play or a particular competition. So basically, there's the standard USGA rules in golf, but a course is allowed to have a specific local rule if there's something, maybe it's a certain hazard, maybe it's a certain part of the course that's just different. Local rules exist, if you look at the scorecard, at pretty much every course.
Yeah, and honestly, it's really cool that, again, whether it's a private club, public course, resort, whatever it may be, you can have them and almost have them be something where it sparks conversation amongst people who are playing. It sparks conversation amongst people who are in the pro shop or maybe the superintendents, the GMs. You got to really be in the know and talk to the right people in order to be able to actually execute it when you're out there playing around.
And again, if you guys have a good local rule, comment with what that is below in the course so we can look that up. But this local rule is literally underneath a bench at Boyne Highlands at the Heather course, which is a great course. If you guys haven't played it, check it out. And basically, if you hit it in the water, you get a free drop. I want to let Boyne explain it themselves. We got Ken Griffin, who's the director of sales and marketing at Boyne. Great guy, by the way. He did a video explaining what exactly this local rule is and how it works. So check that out right now.
So Everett Kircher in 1966, when we developed the Heather, hired Robert Trenchstone Jr. to build the course. And for 17 holes, two very strong-willed men were pretty agreeable. But when it came to 18, Robert Trenchstone Sr. wanted to protect the green with sand and buggers. Everett Kircher wanted the lake so that we could make snow in wintertime for the ski slopes. Well, obviously, the lake won. But if you look over my shoulders, there's a bench. It says 258 yards to the lake. And there is a local rule. It's on the bottom of the bench, though, that if you hit your tee shot in the water, it's a free drop. So the idea was that recreational golfers could still enjoy their round of golf and maybe have a little fun with their friends. Obviously, for tournament play, the rule is not effective.
Okay, so Kyle, you've obviously played this before. Pretty cool local rule where if you hit in the water, you get a free drop.
Well, I've been playing golf at Boyne and the Heather for almost 10 years now, and I have been begging my friends on the annual golf trip that we would go on to Boyne, begging them to actually allow that to happen. Like, I tried to talk them
That's
into,
regular play.
Like,
it
guys,
should.
come on. Yeah, It's a local rule. It's right here. You see it. Ken did a great job of explaining it. Why wouldn't we add that? Of course, if one of us hits it in the water, it's a free drop. Not just for me, but for the entire group. And they just have not been willing to make it a part of our actual trip. But
so you're serious competition.
Apparently, apparently, too serious, to be able to do something like that. But look, it's a fun thing. I love the fact that there's all these different nuances in the game of golf. And ultimately, look, we're trying to make golf fun.
Right.
At a certain point, so if you know about this, you hear about this, obviously there's going to be a little more publicity about this at the Heather on 18. Go look, find it. Now you know it. And if you're lucky enough or you're strong enough to be able to hit it all the way in the water, beautiful. You get that free drop. It's not like it's this huge advantage, though. Like, okay, say you hit it in the water. Say you bring the ball back, you drop one, and right there. You still have to hit a 180-yard shot directly, all water.
Now, what if you hit it in the water again? You can just keep re-teeing until
it's a free drop every single time.
So,
right, that's the issue is, again, it doesn't reward you all that much. Sure, it saves you a shot, but you still have to hit a really good golf shot over that water.
And it's a great course, and the Heather, I think, is fantastic. It's a course that you play the first time, and then you play it again, and it really grows on you more. And for those that don't know, we don't need to get in the weeds on it. I know a lot of people that watch these videos are not just Michigan people. It's more of a national audience. But the Heather they host a lot of Golf Association of Michigan events. They host a lot of Michigan amateur type things. They host a lot of qualifiers, a lot of Michigan Opens. It's a premier
and
championship
really
type
golf
course.
Trips
and serious golf trips for you. But as you saw in the video, it's cool that it's something different where you kind of got to know about it, and it's underneath the bench. And as Ken said, it is a local rule. Now, look, if you are playing, all jokes aside about your serious golf trip, but if you are playing in a tournament or a qualifier or a Michigan Open, no, that doesn't exist. It just simply doesn't. But yeah, from a local play perspective, as it says, that bench is 258 yards to the water. and if you hit your tee shot in the water, you get a free drop. 250. That's probably a 5-iron for you.
Yeah, I wish.
But
Maybe back in the day.
But what's nice though too is, you know, you have this local rule, and the history of it, as Ken described, with the two golf course architects, with Robert Trent Jones Sr. and Everett, the guy Everett Kircher, who built Boyne Highlands. Obviously, Trent Jones Jr. wanted, you know, the waste area, the bunkers, etc. And the reason why the pond is there, as Ken said, is because they wanted to use the water to make snow at Boyne Highlands, which is a huge ski resort, in the winter. So you got one guy, Robert Trent Jones Sr., who is a famous golf course architect. Obviously, we're worried about the golf course. We're not worried about the skiing in the winter. So it'd be cool to hear those conversations of where that went in. But of course, the water one, there's a big pond right there that, yes, helps build snow. I assume it still does. I don't even know how that whole thing works. But they made the local rule fine. The water can go there, but there's going to be a local rule, and it's jokingly, but it is enforceable for sure.
The origin of the story is fantastic, and honestly, it's a massive pond. I mean, it really is.
It's a great finishing hole.
It's not your ordinary, if you've never played there, it's not your ordinary, hey, it's just a nice little pond, to the left of the green or something like that, that maybe if you hit your ball into, you might have to drop. It's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is. But it's also, when you pull into the resort, it's a great scene setter.
Oh, it's
too.
great.
Off to the left there, you're pulling in. You got to check into the hotel, get your champagne when you check in.
It's a great process now.
Boyne has really upped their game,
they have.
On the resort side of things and your actual stay. But it's a great thing to see when you actually pull into.
And I encourage people, and we've had some great partnerships with Boyne over the years, and I've been to Boyne both personally and obviously professionally with what we do with our marketing firm and with golf. And I've been going there for years. And this is not going to be an infomercial, of course, about Boyne, even though we love it. But there's so many great courses up there, and definitely encourage people to check it out. You're right; they have done a much better job with amenities, and those restorations have been fantastic. What's interesting is the Heather. That finishing hole that we're talking about right now with the local rule, it's regarded as one of the best finishing holes in Michigan, and I agree. Our buddy Jeff Lesson, who you guys have seen in prior videos when we had the Charlie Wood story at the U.S. Junior Am, but Jeff Lesson, I know, has always called it the single best finishing hole in Michigan, and that's his opinion, and it's not a hill I'm going to die on in terms of nope, there's so many more better finishing holes. It certainly is one of the best finishing holes that you'll find. It really is.
If you're in competition, and again, they host a ton of tournaments, ton of events, or if it's hey, you're playing for money against your buddies or
great.
whatever. If that match is within one or two shots, whatever it may be, going into 18, everything is in play on that final hole, because again, even if you hit a really good drive, you still have a hell of a shot to get over the green, unless
you're really taking an aggressive angle and drawing it left, whatever.
Sure, I mean, I think
if you can hit it 300, but
that's the thing.
Left.
I mean, the average golfer probably is hitting directly over that water, and hopefully you're just trying to stay up and make sure you hit the green.
Yeah, and you're right. What you want with golf is you want the number 18 to be a risk-reward match play type hole. You always want that. And I think there's some courses that have that, and to have a hole that has water on it, that is truly risk reward both off the tee and on your approach shot, it's where you can win and lose a lot of matches, and that's always really really good to watch. So yeah, it's more so. I was gonna, after this video or even before this video, look up, hey, what are the other great local rules that exist in golf in America? And I figured, I didn't even look it up because I figured it would be great just to have people comment on it and hear about some more. I bet there are other local rules similar to this where you kind of have to know about it. Maybe it's posted on a tree, or maybe there's some sort of little, intricate thing where it's again, something to do with a hazard or a free drop or being able to place your ball somewhere else. There's a lot of these cool local rules that exist that I want to hear about from people watching this.
I have a great official local rule, and this comes from the club that we're both at, locally. The local rule is no matter what score you get after hole 1, you absolutely must order a cocktail at the halfway shack on number 2 before you tee off right there at number 2 as well. It's a local rule.
It is. Yep.
You know, we pretty much abide by it.
You
I
have
think
to.
almost every single time that we play. It's just a part of the deal. It is.
Yep. Yep.
It has nothing to
that's
do with
great.
golf, but I feel like it makes us play better. I'll give it that.
Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, for sure. Sometimes I play great when I'm hungover, or great when I'm sober, or great when I'm drunk. It really just all depends. It's a total mixed bag. But no, it's definitely want to hear more about the local rules that you guys have, and always enjoy playing the Heather. They got so many great courses up there at Boyne, a ton of them. They really do. Heather, Moore, obviously the Monument and Alpine at Boyne Mountain, where the Tournament of Champions just played. So Northern Michigan golf is just so good. And I don't want to get sidetracked from the purpose of this local rule type video, but yeah, I think it's cool to see courses have different rules, and you see some stuff that gets adjusted for tournaments as well. You see a lot of courses for invitationals that will make make yellow stakes red, just to not confuse people. That you could do a whole separate video on yellow versus red stakes, and most people have no idea what the difference is.
Certain tee boxes that are only used for high-end
Right.
tournaments, or specific invitational member type of play, whatever it may be. I mean, that's also fun as well. Whether that's moving somebody back, or
Right.
or changing the angle of the hole, or making it really short and all carry over water, whatever it may be. There's a ton of different things that these courses do.
Absolutely. Well, appreciate you guys tuning in as always. Appreciate Ken giving us that video, and definitely want to have people check that out and comment below some of the local rules that you guys have experienced over the years.